What is going on? My best good get in the trunk buddies. That's all of you. And that's everyone that is listening and watching. You guys are amazing as we go from tour stop to tour stop. We were recently in LA and Portland. So many people come up to me and tell me how much they love Gut in the Trunk. And I appreciate it so much. And it really has a lot to do with these four right here, because holy smokes, do I look forward to these sessions. It is like Easy Street for me. It really became more obvious to me than ever at Gen Con when I was super stressing about Getting the Trunk live. And I got there and I was like, wait a minute, I just realized something. I don't do anything in this show. I just sit here and these lunatics make 90 solid minutes of entertainment like it's nothing left and right. So I'm excited to be back.
You're like Andy Cohen.
For another sesh. Yeah, exactly. I mean, dream job. Best job in the world being the handler of this particular show. Also, I get to have the show with Francis, which is a unique honor. You know, he stays hidden most of the time in his cave, but occasionally he'll come out and play Get in the Trunk.
You get the Francis show that's off camera, though. That's the real show.
That's the real show.
That's the real show. Yeah, that's the stuff we can't air. Yeah.
But you can check it out on my OnlyFans.
I had a question for you guys as some life stuff has come up. You know, life things happen. And one of those things that happens to us frequently, all of us, all the time, is gift giving. And gift giving, I love giving gifts, but sometimes, man, is it a chore. Like, I love Christmas time giving gifts. Like, that's the best. But like obligatory gifts for all different various events or situations can kind of drive me a little bit nuts, makes me feel like I'm a bad person. I don't know. So I'm just going to go down a couple items here that are on my stress list right now. And I would like you guys to weigh in on what you do, a quick like yes or no. Do you get your mom a birthday gift, like every year on her birthday?
Yeah.
Like a physical gift? Yeah, pretty much?
No.
Try to.
No. Okay. All right. What about your dad? Do you get your daddy birthday gift on his birthday?
Yeah.
Send
Depends.
They're adults. They're adults.
Sometimes
adults don't get gifts. I like this. I like this stance.
They're adults. Children need gifts. Adults don't need gifts.
Understood. All right, so I'm going to leave you out of this next one, Francis. Mother's Day. Mother's Day, more important to get a gift than mom's birthday? Equal?
Same equal.
Say equal. Yeah.
Equal?
I mean,
Father's Day.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah, I do Father's Day.
You do Father's Day gift every Father's Day?
It's a big one.
If I remember.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big one? Is that what you said?
Because I'm a dad now.
No, if I remember.
I love Father's Day.
if I remember.
I call it spring Christmas.
All right, well, let's put the kids up then. Kids, this is obviously your kids. It's easy. Your kids. It's easy. What about like niece birthday? Nephew birthday. You buy gifts for these kids.
Don't have one.
Skid is close with some nephews.
Yeah, I get all my nephews. I only have nephews. All of them get a birthday gift, Christmas gift.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Children need gifts.
How old are you? When are you going to stop?
I'm never going to stop.
So 25 years old, you'll get them a gift.
My model is like my Aunt Bennett, who I don't think any of you ever actually got to meet. But she was like my cool aunt, like growing up, and she did that. Like she would like every year, like my sister and I, like we'd always get something like from her. We're really close with her, so that's like I want to be that for my nephews. Like that's what I want.
Yeah. What about Sydney? Do you have nieces and nephews?
No, Xavier does. So we do like birthday party stuff, but they're all really young. Like it's the exciting age to get gifts for like your friend's baby or like your super young niece. So I don't know. That might change when they hit like 12. You know, then it's like, how much time am I spending with them also? Like, do I know what to get them? You can get whatever for a baby. You can get them diapers and the parents are like, thank you. But yeah, I don't know.
You're basically getting a gift for the parents at that point.
Yes, exactly.
But once they cross over into that 12-year-old, 13-year-old range, I mean, you're just, I guess, money. Like, here's money.
Oh, cell phone?
You could do what I do is
go buy the drugs you want.
Ask their parents. I don't know if you have a relationship with the parents of the children, but that's an option. That's what
Adults can't have friends. Just kidding. I just talked to the kids.
You know what's tricky? Do you guys find it hard? Well, I guess it would just be Joe and I. Is like when my parents ask what to get the kids, or my brother will ask what to get the kids. I only have ideas for me. I have a heart, and I've got a million of them.
Yeah, you can't give them the good stuff.
But I don't want to give them the good stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But I also don't want them to just get
mom
nonsense. Because if I let, especially Sam's parents, if I let them just go wild, it's just like, oh, good. Nonsense. More nonsense. So I want to give them pointed ideas, but I also don't want them taking the good ones.
Yeah. I mean, when you get gifts for your own kids from other people, particularly like from my parents or my in-laws, especially big toys, you're like, come on, man. Now I got to store this in my house.
I just feel like I'm being trolled.
Yeah.
It's like,
Totally.
cool, a telescope.
Get them a full drum set. So
Here's something that you don't know how to work, that never will work, that will just take up room.
Guess I'll just
bicycle. And it's like, I don't know. We don't need that. We don't want that.
my father-in-law has this new thing where he'll just bring us stuff that they're cleaning out their house. So they brought a 13-year-old's bike. I'm like, we just bought him a $700 bike. So I guess we'll just throw this out with our next bulk trash.
Oh my God.
They're basically delivering trash to you.
Quick pivot. I'm a little dismayed right now. Literally right now with my bicycle situation with the kids, because we did spend little chunk of change on my 6-year-old's bike when he was 4-ish, almost 5.
Yeah.
And it was because it was recommended by our bike place who they're cool. They're down. Of course, they're trying to make a sale, but they're also this bike adjusts and we'll have it for a few years at least, and man, I got completely hosed by this company. It just doesn't fit. The seat only goes so much before it says you cannot raise it any higher.
Call out the company. Call them up so we know not to get this bike.
And the pedals are so little that now his legs are longer. It's just he's on a big wheel. It's man, he needs bigger tires. He simply needs bigger tires. And I'm like, I can't believe next spring I have to get another bike. It's so lame. So next spring I'm going to get a super cheap bike because they, you hear this, but you don't really know until you're in it. They really do grow so fast. Yeah. Shoes are overnight. Oh man, I'm going to get a nice set of cleats. No, get used cleats somewhere because they use them for 4 months. And then the next season, they can't fit. Hurts their toes.
I get why people have more kids. I mean, my parents had 3 kids. We were all girls. And it was just hand-me-down. It was so easy on them. And we were all close in age enough where it was perfect. It was every school year. It was just handing down the line, all the shit. Soccer cleats. Okay, great. Whatever.
Cleats is one thing. You seem to be kind of a fashion-focused person. I would imagine you were pretty fashion-focused as a child. Did you ever get pissy that you were getting hand-me-downs? You're like, yo, how come she always gets new stuff and I never get new stuff?
Totally. But also I was the middle child, so I couldn't get too pissy. I had to be a peacekeeper. But I do remember, man, you think I was fashionable? Joe. I was bullied in middle school. Let me just tell you that. There is a heavily bullied in middle school. There is a 6th grade photo, first day of school. I've got a side backpack, the one strap backpack, 3 lip glosses tucked in the front pocket, ready to rock.
What's that called, Skid? What do you have? The
bandolier.
Oh, it's
a bandolier.
Basically.
Bandolier
of lip gloss.
That sounds pretty fashionable to me. Maybe read in different circles.
Hair, bad. Teeth, bad. Skin, bad. And my shirt was from the movie Napoleon Dynamite. And it said, girls like guys with skills. And I marched into school and got so bullied.
Oh my God.
The hand-me-downs at times were helpful because it allowed me to not wear what I wanted to wear, which was bad clothing that people were mean to me about. So
dude,
I didn't hate
name your
hate
bullies. Let's go. We'll go get them now.
Yeah.
Name your bullies.
Look at me now. I'm playing games online with my friends.
That's right.
No, I will go down there and beat the crap out of those bullies right now for you because that's wrong.
Thank you, Francis.
I hate bullies.
Thank you. It's tough. It's tough being a kid.
I'll take
Also
those bullies out to dinner.
Wait,
In a
I'll
bath?
reward them?
I don't know.
No?
I just knew they were mad at you, and I was like, those guys seem cool.
I support them with my whole chest. My whole heart, my whole chest.
I would just like to hear Skid's thoughts on you being in 6th grade when Napoleon Dynamite came out.
Fuck you. Fuck off. Fuck
I
off.
didn't even realize I was
Shots
aging
fired.
myself there.
Shots fired.
The one
Shots
thing I
fired.
remember from Napoleon Dynamite was like, I remember there was on one of the like, it was like Ain't It Cool News or like one of the websites, there was like a contest. It was like, because he runs for class president, like in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a thing that's just like, tell us, you're running for class president. Tell us why we should vote for you, like on this website, this promotion. And so I said, because I will use all my supporters as I promise to execute all my supporters and use them as a wall, a castle wall around me to shield me from any violence or criticism.
Wow.
And I didn't win, but I thought it was pretty strong case.
Good for you. Good for you. Bold choice.
You got a couple. You got a couple votes.
You know,
Just recently we were
a couple
we
of
were hanging out.
vote for me.
Just recently we were hanging out. We were talking about Election, about the movie Election.
Oh,
that's a great one.
That's a great one.
So good. So good.
I like it.
All right. Let's get back into it. Let's play a little Impossible Johnscapes as we try to remember what happened in the previous episode.
Enter the Johnscape.
Ridiculous. I don't think
The Johnscape.
you've ever said Johnscape. That's insane.
Sometimes it just comes out, Sydney. I don't know. Can't really
Love
plan it or predict it. You guys have entered the Hotel Broad Alp and you have met multiple guests of the hotel, including Asa Darabandi. And then last week, you reconnect with Mark Rourke, a guy you originally met in the smoking lounge that is connected to the McAllister building. At the time, if you go back and re-listen, he at that time was calling at the hotel. He was in the hotel. So in a way, you were kind of in the Hotel Broad Alp back then, but you called it the night floors. You weren't really sure what was happening, how much McAllister building had to do with this. And you see that he has all this spelunking equipment. He seems to be digging to get to his bottle by trying to find the Whisper Labyrinth. And you say, we have a map here that suggests the entrance to this place is somewhere else. Well, he had the tools to get through the wall that you couldn't get through with your bare hands, and using a mixture of sledgehammers, pickaxes, headlamps, lanterns, etc., you burst through the wall and make your way into the Whisper Labyrinth, a labyrinthine underground area of old brick with wooden shelves that are just completely covered with bottles, all different shapes, all different sizes, all these corked bottles, and every one has a plain white label with a name on it. Mark Rourke suddenly runs ahead of you with his headlamp, saying he hears something. He says, "Did you hear that?" He runs ahead. And it seems by the time you catch up to him, you hear a horrifying scream and some sort of strange growling noise, and then he's pulled away, and you realize he had just reached his bottle, but something got to him first. You do a little research here, try to figure out maybe what's going on with his bottle. You don't know. Roger, in frustration, smashes a bunch of bottles. This creates a strange effect for Neil and for Bobby, where they feel like other lifetimes are passing through their consciousness at once, shredding their mind and filling it with little pocket holes of other people's memories, other people's experiences, changing them in a way as much as they would like. And we all started to see Bobby having a little bit of multiple personality situation happening. This then led to Roger and all of you really deciding to follow the blood trail that was left by Mark Rourke. Something drug him forward, and as you followed this trail, it opened up into a large room, an octagonal bottle storage space that is massive. Describing this room one more time. 8 sides, each wall 30 to 40 feet long, filled with bottles, and it rises up as high as you can see. It's sort of like it gets lost in like a mist that's kind of up in the air. There are sliding wooden ladders to get to certain bottles. There are also stairs that rise up from across from you and from kind of just behind the wall where you are, that go up along the side of the walls to a second floor, then to a third floor. You can kind of all see this and take this in an instant. But on the lower floor, there are some piles of junk, pieces of wood and stone and stuff that have fallen, bricks over the years from somewhere that has not been cleaned up. So there are some obstacles, you could say, in the floor in the middle of this room. And then on the other side, the far side from where you stand, you see an alcove that Neil has seen in his dreams, or he believes the bottle of JC Lintz is housed. Between you and that alcove, you see a creature that appears to be feasting on the corpse of Mark Rourke. You hear the sickening sounds of it munching into his body. You smell the fresh blood in the air. And as Vicky's lantern light starts to shed onto the creature, you see that it appears to have a quadrupedal shape, almost like a lion or a tiger, but it appears to be made entirely of paper, of wound and turned and bent paper that all has minute, unreadable writing on it. Every page twisted and turned into itself. You don't really see its head. Its head is buried in this corpse at the moment, but you see this kind of hulking paper body. Very strange. So it does not appear to see you yet, and I leave it to you guys. You all see this. It does not appear to see you for the moment. You are 150 to 200 feet from the other side of this room. It's a large room, and this creature is in between you and your goal. What do you do?
Gee, I wish we had a lantern with an open flame in it.
Vicky holding her lantern, the one with the open flame, not the headlamp that's battery powered. She immediately moves it though, like off the creature as soon as she sees this fucking thing happen. Like it's incomprehensible what is happening. This paper monster is eating Mark Rourke. So she just it's like that instinctual, and it gets dark, like we can't see again.
As soon as it is bathed in darkness, you realize that you can see kind of its hulk. There is some lingering ambient light in here that's coming from the other side of the mist. Almost looks like daylight, but it's so diffused by the time it gets down here. You just have very, very dim vision. But in pulling that lantern away, seeing what you saw, and then not being able to see it clearly, I need everybody to give me a sanity check.
Oh, I was trying to avoid that. I was trying to metagame and avoid that.
Man, I just failed.
This would be from the unnatural.
From the unnatural. Right.
Yeah, I just failed 63 over 57.
Oh, shit, same. Well, no, 93 over fucking 22.
Okay. Roger and Bobby both take 2 points of sanity damage. Vicky?
I rolled an 8.
Wow.
I'm going to continue to deflect that onto Steve.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Poor Steve.
Oh, shit. I don't know if
I don't take the damage, or how does it work again?
You roll 1d4
Right.
to see how much you
It's a D4, not a D6.
pass off. D4, yeah, to see how much you pass off onto Steve.
All right, so if I roll a 3 and I was supposed to take 2.
He takes 2 and you take none. Or your relationship takes 2 and you take none.
Gotcha.
And that's what you rolled, a 3?
Yeah. He's
Neil?
dying. Steve's dying.
29 under 31.
Wow.
Ooh, nice.
Wow.
You take 1 point of sanity damage.
Does Vicky take one as well?
Yes,
For
1
succeeding?
point of sanity damage. As you see this thing, you can feel its presence. Chewing, eating, breathing almost, it sounds like. Very strange sounds.
Vicky turns away and quietly whispers to the group. We're all right next to each other. Did you see that? Did you fucking see that?
The neighbor's dog got in the garden again. Get out of here! Get! Bobby throws a rock at it. He thinks he's not in his right mind. Get out of my azaleas, you rat!
Bobby, what the fuck are you doing?
Give me the lantern.
As soon as this
hell's
brick,
Bobby?
this rock goes flying in the air toward the creature, it boom hits down next to it, and its head snaps up. we are going into initiative.
My.
Shit.
Bobby, you know what, Francis? Congratulations
Bobby's
for
left
playing
the
your
chat.
character
Bobby's
well.
left the chat.
Bobby has left the chat.
Bobby's got a fucking swirl of like souls through his
Joe,
freaking brain right now.
before we went to initiative, Troy did say, in Roger's voice, "Give me the lantern." Could we say in that moment, Vicky?
No, we cannot.
No, we cannot. You're not letting
no,
that
The thing I heard first was him throwing the John, and this thing goes, "Whoa," and now we will go into initiative. You guys can do
Appreciate
your
that,
stuff in initiative order. Bobby throws the brick. This thing pulls its face up, and it just into the circle of your lantern light that you can see into the distance. It leaps at the light, the source of the light.
My God.
Bursting through into the wave of light. This horrifying monster, you would think that its face is like wet paper mache, like, similar, that had not yet dried like the rest of its body. No, it's not.
Blood.
Its face is a maw of broken glass and rusted nails and razor blades and ruined pieces of like leather book covers, all like build this face that looks vaguely like a Bengal tiger. And it just comes into the light and is so fast, Vicky. I don't know if you're gonna die like immediately.
Oh, what?
So you have two options. You can stand there and die, or you could attempt to dodge, or you could attempt to fight back. If you attempt to dodge or fight back, that will be your turn for the round.
You had a good life.
I mean, Vicky
She
does
did.
have. Hold on, Vicky does have her gun out. She had her gun out, was walking through with her gun. She had the lantern and the gun.
It's too fast for your gun.
Okay, so it's too. I was gonna say, could she get a shot off? No. So I think.
No, so you could take a shot on your turn if you don't dodge or fight back. It might miss you. It has to roll, and
And what does it roll against? It rolls against.
its own unarmed attack.
Oh, right. Okay, so it's not a. Okay. I think, could we say as a dodge action, she drops the lantern to move out of the light? Like, it seems to be attracted to the light coming right, because Bobby was the one yelling. Vicky didn't say anything. So she just wants to, like...
No, Bobby threw a brick.
I threw a brick.
That got its attention. It turned, and all it really could see was like this, the light and everyone in it, but it went right for whoever was holding the light.
Yeah, so she wants to dodge by, like, letting go of the light and moving out of the way. So she's dropping this lantern.
Okay. Okay. It's an actual flame.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, like.
So if you drop it, it's going to go out, right?
Oh, I thought there would be the oil. I thought if I dropped it, it would,
like
It might.
combust.
It might, but it would be a die roll.
it would be a roll. Okay.
That's not a bad idea.
In her mind, it's kind of like she's not fighting back, but
You
she's
mean you're going to smash the lantern?
she's like throwing it on the ground, hoping that it'll distract the creature and maybe just make like a and she couldn't avoid it.
Okay. All right, so first, give me a dodge roll.
Okay. Oh. I don't have anything in dodge.
Oh.
Oh, jeez.
I don't have anything in dodge. But if
so,
I did
So it should be a 20%, right?
30.
Nothing in dodge.
But
30.
if I did a fight back, what would this be considered? Unarmed combat?
Yeah.
So could I do that then? Could I say this is unarmed combat because she's throwing the lantern down?
So you're going to throw it down like at the creature's feet, basically.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. So we'll roll opposed unarmed combat right now. Here we go.
Okay.
Only mine's not called unarmed combat. Mine's called maul. Because I am going to maul you alive.
Oh, no.
What did you get?
I got a 48 under 50.
Oh, that's a good result.
I got a fucking 85. Son of a bitch.
Over what? Over what? What's its maw?
I'm not telling you. I'll tell you what, it was close.
It was close.
And I just, like, it leaps at you. You scream, jump out of the way and smash this thing onto the ground, okay? The creature leaps for you, and you get out of the way, but in the fight back, you are going to hit it. So let's see. Give me... Well, your roll was successful, so I'm going to give you what you want to happen, which is you want the lantern to break.
I want it
and
to
you want
break.
fire.
I want oil
to
on the
spill out.
ground. I want shit to catch on fire.
Okay. Bam! This thing lands down in the middle, and it is covered in fire underneath it. And you can see it starts catching the paper, and it's like, starts to like make this horrifying howl, and it is Neil's turn.
Oh my god.
Neil has not a lot of options here. I think he just starts reciting William Blake.
Tiger.
Yeah, it's like, tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night. What immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry?
Symmetry. Nicely done.
The tiger just stops growling.
That's like,
Yeah.
wait, oh, you're right. That doesn't rhyme. What the fuck, Blake?
All right, so Neil just starts mumbling to himself, starts mumbling poetry to himself, an incantation perhaps to get the creature to run away. Roger, it's your turn.
All right, talk me through if I wanted to grab the lantern, throw it towards the tiger, and then shoot it with the shotgun right when it gets near it. How can I do that? Could I do that?
You can do
The
that.
lantern's already broken
already
underneath
broken. We only
the
have
creature.
the
It's
lantern's
already.
It's already broken underneath.
We only have the
creature.
headlamp.
Get the headlamp.
But the headlamp is not fire. The headlamp
Who has the headlamp?
I'm wearing the headlamp.
Oh,
All right,
Neil.
Neil's wearing the headlamp, so you see the creature well lit. It seems to be in pain. This fire is definitely doing something, but it is, just like, oil spilled out. The lantern broke. There's fire on the floor.
Shoot it.
Yeah, I think I'm
shoot
just gonna
it.
shoot it because.
Shoot it.
To try to make like an explosion.
Shoot the
Yeah,
dragon.
I'm just gonna, and we'll see. Maybe it's immune to shotgun damage, but
Oh, you're gonna shoot the creature.
I'm gonna shoot the creature. Yeah.
Okay.
Because as we went off the air last week, I was googling start a fire with a shotgun because I'm thinking of how Godfather Part 2 when young Vito Corleone
Oh yeah.
wraps the gun
wraps the
and
thing
then
around.
shoots the Dawn and then the
The thing
wraps on
catches fire like from the explosion, but that's what made me think maybe I could start a bigger fire with the shotgun, but I'm not going to wrap the shotgun in a cloth and fire. I'm just going to fire at the creature.
Okay.
Roger's firearms is
Firearms.
currently 81%,
Oh, baby.
and I rolled a 59.
Okay. That is a hit. Go ahead and give me your shotgun damage. Does it have any armor piercing?
That's a great question. Just looking here at equipment on this sheet. Were these slugs or shots?
Shots.
This would be 2d10 worth of damage and no armor piercing.
Does it have a lethality rating? Shotgun.
No, it does not.
Okay.
On this particular sheet that I'm using, it does not. And I think it's accurate. It has every single weapon in the game.
Shotguns aren't very dangerous, so that's probably accurate.
Especially up close.
A submachine gun under this has a 10% lethality rating.
That's fine. I just want to double check. All right, so go ahead and roll your 2d10 damage. Also, Vicky, apologies. I got caught up in it a little bit. You can roll 2d6 damage for the fire.
Cool.
It's going to be 12 points of damage. Yeah.
Nice.
Boom.
12 points of damage. Boom! You could see your shot riddles all through the paper that makes up this creature, and it seems to pass through it, creating small holes in all of the paper, shredding a whole bunch of it, and all passing through to the other side, seeming to do almost no damage, as doesn't seem to be any kind of internal organs or anything to this creature. Your bullets were similar to just shooting paper, like it just passed through it.
Okay.
And didn't do anything.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
I
that's part of the
rolled
experiment.
boxcars and got 12 damage as well. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then my initial description of the scene is accurate. Your lantern did indeed crack enough that the oil laid out all over the floor, and it's rising up from beneath the creature, and its paper is catching on fire, and it is howling in pain. Yes. Bobby, your turn.
It's still in the fugue stage, just like, goddamn dog! And he's looking around. He doesn't have any weapons, so he's just grabbing rocks or whatever.
You throw a brick at it?
I'm going to throw another brick at it. Yeah,
all right, go
square
ahead.
at. Maybe, is there wood? There's wood, right?
Give me a dex times 5.
Dex times 5. All right. Let's go, baby. Fucking dex. Dex times 5, okay. 55, let's go. Oh my god, 55. Right on the money. Right on the fucking
Critical. 55 right on the money, Bobby. Damn dog.
That is the best possible roll you can get.
Yes,
Wow.
it is. It is the best hitting your number is the best roll you can get.
Yeah.
All right.
That felt good.
So you
Well,
take
it's
this
even
brick.
better than because his number is a crit, so it's a 55 rather than 54. So it's like that is that's amazing.
That's
huge.
awesome.
That's huge.
All right, so
I fucking blast its head.
bam, and this brick just hits it right in the broken glass, rusted nail maw of its mouth. It's like clangs
Bobby just
off
screams,
of
"Stay
it.
away from my azaleas!"
Roll a 1d6, please.
Ooh, yeah.
Tell me what you get.
Let's go. Ooh, 5.
Damn.
Boom, boom, boom.
Okay. Awesome. Vicky already used her turn, and it comes back to the paper tiger, and it has to get out of this fire. It's howling, and it jumps, turns, and runs away from you. And it starts to run full speed. You see that its flames licking behind it as it's like, and it darts across this room, seemingly heading toward one of the stairway at the far end, and it makes it a really long distance.
Ooh.
I'm blanking on its speed at the moment, but much farther than you guys can get around. And still visible, far away, burning. It is Neil's turn. Neil.
Keep reading this poem.
Roger.
It's a good poem.
It's a great vote.
Trying to think what I can do to. I'm tempted to just let it go. It's not like I need the experience points here. If it's not attacking us, it's afraid. The only reason to not let it go is if it heals its wounds and then comes after us later. But fuck this thing. We'll just get more fire.
Or, I mean, is it going where we want to go? Is it trying, where does it live? Where the
It's heading generally in that direction, but that's where it is right now.
I'll walk up towards the body of what we assume to be Mark Rourke or what we know to be Mark Rourke.
Okay. What you assume to be Mark Rourke.
Yeah, I'm going to walk up towards the body.
It'd be shocking if it wasn't.
But yeah,
you head up.
It wasn't.
You can get up. You can get up there in a move action for your round, and you can see it is indeed Mark Rourke. His face still mostly intact, though covered in blood, but his insides are mauled and seemed to be consumed in some way. Bobby, your turn. You see Roger runs up to try to look at Mark Rourke. Though I will say, Roger, it's very dim light where you are.
Okay, so
Hard to see details.
It's starting to calm down now that the tiger's run away. He's starting to come to himself. He's just like, wait a minute. What's happening? Where? I'm Bobby. What happened? He looks at Vicky and Roger. Where?
Roger's not there. He's about 50 feet away or so. Vicky, your turn.
I mean, Vicky is looking at Bobby, just she had been trying to calm him down, and thought it was working, and he started this whole fight, and she's looking at Bobby like there's a fire on the ground, and you just see her looking at you like, what is wrong with you?
I don't know what happened. It's like a blur. I feel like my head's splitting open.
Okay, we have to just stay quiet, okay? It ran. Just stay quiet. I don't know what the fuck that was.
And it is its turn. It reaches this stairwell on the far side, and you see it begin running up the stairwell. And as it moves quicker and quicker, the flames seem to catch more and more. It's crazy. This fireball essentially is running up these stairs, and as it gets to the second tier, it turns into what you now see is the opening of a hallway up there, and disappears from sight. And you're out of combat.
So Neil, he says, I thought that thing was going to be pretty dangerous. But in the end, I guess, it's just a paper tiger. And he puts his sunglasses on.
Nicely done, Skid.
It's so dark in here.
Nicely executed.
Now I can't see.
It's incredible how hard it is to see. I don't know how Troy does these episodes.
Yeah, it's like
Dude, it's so bad. These aren't even prescription. I can't see anything.
You don't own prescription glasses.
Yeah.
you're literally blind.
I do have some now, but I need prescription
good.
sunglasses.
Okay, you seem to be... This thing is not threatening you at the moment. What would you like to do?
He's just shaking. Trying to hold himself.
Is Roger back with us, or did he run ahead?
No,
He's
I just ran
up
up to
at
the body.
Okay.
I'm going to walk up because I have the only source of light now except
That's
for the
right.
fire.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm going
There's
to
now
walk
this
up.
the oil is slowly burning out, blue flame along the ground.
I'll
But
just
it is-
keep
it's
firing the
eventually gonna go
shotgun
out.
right next to his head to provide light so I can see more details.
Muzzle flash. Working by muzzle
It's
flash.
got to be an easier way.
There has to be a less wasteful way.
So I'm going to walk up with the headlamp up to sort of jog up to Roger.
Okay, you get up there closer, and you do identify Mark Rourke. His face covered in blood, his body and insides partially eaten. It is a vile sight. Everybody, please give me a sanity check for violence. Unless Roger, I think you can skip this.
Yeah, I love it.
one.
I love it.
You'll take the minimum sanity damage, which in this case is 0.
Is it because of adapted violence? I adapted violence.
You're adapted to violence.
Yeah.
Okay, then 0 for you.
Oh, thank God. I'm like, I can't get much lower.
Neil rolled a 69.
Yeah.
So I get five points back.
2 points of sanity loss for you. Actually, in this case, I'm not going to have it happen, Neil, because of your medical expertise. You know, you've seen the insides of corpses over and over and over and over, and
I've
you
dug
didn't
around
actually.
in them.
Yeah, and you didn't actually see the attack itself. I'll say you're fine, Vicky.
Crit failed. I got a 77
Oh wow!
over 56.
Baloney.
All right, that is 6 points of sanity damage. You take max sanity damage on a crit fail. 6 points, so lower it by 6.
Well, you were like at 50 before, though.
I was at 56, and now I'm at 50.
Now you're at 50. Poor thing.
Oh my gosh, are we gonna get you below 50 one day?
No,
Never,
wait. So
never.
does anything happen? Because that's a lot in just one shot. Is there? I forget. Am I thinking of Cthulhu, where if you take 5?
If you take 5 in Cthulhu, yeah, this is more of breaking point based.
Yeah,
but
okay.
you did you go past a breaking point?
No, I'm very sane. Thank you.
But it will manifest in this
sane.
moment.
Yeah.
And so you can choose how that 6 points manifests when you come up on this corpse. I mean, you were just talking to this guy, and now his insides are spilling out on the ground.
I mean, yeah, she's got we all have, I think we all have conditions that we developed that come out at different moments. And she walks up to this corpse and she looks at it, and you don't see her like affected by it. And she turns to Roger and she says, "Who is that?"
That's what's left of Rourke.
Rourke? Who's Rourke?
Don't worry about it.
Can we help him, or is he dead?
He's no longer with us.
Neil? And she looks at Neil. I think this is Roger's friend. Can you help him?
Vicky.
And I look her in the face, and she's blinded by the headlamp. What?
Yeah.
It's very bright, Neil.
Vicky, just...
Well, we
You
have
want
to
some
get...
doers?
No, Roger. Fucking recovering alcoholic. No, I don't want doers. Stop fucking offering me doers every fucking day.
Keep having us meet at bars.
We have to get to the hotel because we have to help Sam. So can we finish up whatever we're doing here so we can get to the hotel?
Vicky, we're in the hotel, essentially. Everything's the hotel.
What are you talking about?
What is wrong with you? And he shakes
Stop shaking me.
We're in
Roger.
the Whisper Labyrinth. Underneath the hotel. We just found a paper tiger.
Stop yelling at me. Okay, if I'm the only one who cares about Sam, who cares about Murray, then I'll go on my own.
We can't save anyone unless we save ourselves. We're looking for Linz's bottle. We need to follow the map, find the bottle, and then get the fuck out of here.
Okay. Stop shaking me and yelling at me.
Get your shit together.
Don't tell me what to do, Roger. She goes stands by Bobby. Both of them absolutely fucking insane.
Bobby's just staring down at the dead body. She's going,
Fucking hate when he talks to me like that. I'm a grown woman. We were married. He thinks he can talk to me like that. It's my son. My son. She's also just kind of shaking.
You sound like a senile old lady.
This is gonna end badly.
She takes her gun out,
Oh, shit.
puts it away.
Bobby
but
looks over.
But actually, she takes her gun out. Because she now is...
And doesn't put it away.
She doesn't put it away because she's now looking around and she's very confused. She does not know where they are. So she takes her gun out and she's now on high alert and feels like she remembers this area from a dream. Like nothing feels real. And she doesn't remember how she got here. And she doesn't remember getting into the Hotel Broad Alban. Any of that. And she just is like, okay, well, Roger, you know, you lead the way then, and I'll be right behind you.
We don't know where to go.
We have the map.
We have the map, but the map it doesn't make sense. It's not that it's inaccurate. It's just that there's a lot of twists and turns and whatnot that are not included in there because it's a labyrinth, and that's what happens in labyrinths.
Here's the main thing, and correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, if I'm just misremembering. On our map that we have from Abigail, or no, from Abigail's apartment.
Yeah, from the apartment, yeah.
We need to go back from where we are. We followed Rourke, which was down a hallway we shouldn't have gone down. We need to go back the other way to an alcove.
I saw the alcove.
But Neil thinks the alcove is in a different direction.
That's right. I urged us to follow Rourke.
Oh, okay. So then we want to follow Neil.
We gotta go back.
Yeah.
I can't remember why I wanted to.
No, Neil is convinced that the alcove you need is right there.
But that's not what's on the map, is what I'm saying.
Isn't it? What are you seeing on the map? If you look at the map, a hallway
off of the Whisper Labyrinth
leads to a big kind of hand-drawn square.
Yes.
Is it possible that this hand-drawn square is actually this massive octagonal space that it opens up into, and the bottle is somewhere in here?
Yeah, I just thought, and this could have been me just being confused in the moment, I thought as if you're running down towards that big room, I thought we took the right down the hallway to follow Rourke.
100%. The problem is you're in an entirely unnatural labyrinthine space. You don't really know what may change at any given moment. However, all I'm saying, you're welcome to go back. However, I did mentioned last episode that Neil, seeing the alcove across the way, recognized it from a dream.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to try to guide the team. And this is funny too, like with Neil wearing this head lantern, he's sort of seeing things like he would if he was making a film, like about it, because he's just like casting the spotlight on wherever his attention is focused. And that's sort of feeding into his new sort of mind state of like the way that he's experiencing reality and unreality is all feeding into it. So he's just like, come with me. We're almost to the third act. Come on. And he heads over towards where he thinks this is.
He starts walking across the middle of this massive space and identifying this alcove in the far end, tucked into one of these walls. Bobby, are you following him?
Yeah, he's just struggling to hold on to his current personality. So Bobby, yes. And he's gonna follow right behind.
Okay. Vicky?
Yeah, Vicky is following. Vicky will take up the rear, and she has her gun out.
Roger?
Yeah, Roger's just going to stand behind the three of these lunatics and make sure that they stay safe. But he doesn't have any better ideas, so he's going to follow Neil.
Okay. So we see Neil in front with this headlamp washing over the floor, over the walls as you approach this archway that goes into this alcove off of one of these walls. You walk into this alcove and you see it goes in about 15 or 20 feet. And along the side walls of this alcove are more shelves with even more kind of dust-covered bottles. There are names on each of these bottles. They're small. You have to get down close to read what they are. But as your light shines to the 20 feet to the back of this alcove, you see what you saw in your dreams, crystal clear. A pedestal coming up from the ground and sitting atop it, a bottle, a singular bottle that seems separated from all the rest that are lined along the walls. Stone pedestal and a bottle on top.
So he's approaching and he's thinking about, like, he is sort of directing this movie of what he's doing, like as he's doing it, and he's just sort of like steady cam towards, just like he's trying to keep his head like still, like bobbing, and just like slowly walking towards this pedestal, like the opening of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like he's just walking towards this thing, and he does, like he methodically walks up close to it to get a look.
You come closer. You come closer and closer until eventually you stand right at this bottle. Your light hits it and you can see a dark, blackish, greenish bottle that seems, a little bit more ornate maybe than some of the others. And this one has a brightness to it that the others don't have. At the cork, where the cork is in at the top, it is covered in a bright yellow wax that covers and holds down the cork on top of it. And pressed into that wax is the yellow sign. Getting this close as well, you also notice that the bottle seems to be sitting on some sort of a metal gear, like a piece of clockwork, like a small metal gear on the top of the stone thing. And at first glance, it appears that there are tiny metal clamps on the clockwork that are holding that bottle onto that spot on the top of the pedestal.
Yeah. Okay. So if he sort of squats down, considering it, does this look like a puzzle? Or does it look like I could pry this thing free with brute strength?
You're not really sure yet how.
It's a booby trap.
You're really not sure yet how tight this thing is mounted onto here. Without grabbing it and trying to pull it a little bit, you wouldn't really know if you can't pull it off. You see no other mechanisms on the side of the pedestal. You see no symbols on the side of the pedestal. You see no other indication of anything unusual, except this one just seems to be kind of held in place by these small metal brackets at the base of the bottle.
Okay. So does it look like there's liquid in the bottle, or does it look empty like the others?
It appears empty,
Okay.
but it's corked and sealed.
So he goes into his medical bag, and he pulls out like a little bag of saline solution. And he sort of like judges the weight in his hand. He's looking at the bottle.
Oh, Indiana Jones.
I'm sorry. One more detail. It does say JC Lentz.
Okay. Oh, good to know.
So this is the
okay.
bottle,
Good
but
to
yeah,
know,
I forgot
yeah.
to say it literally says his name on the label.
had a
Imagine
feeling.
Neil is so insane he grabs the wrong bottle. He's just like, oh,
Alfred
shit.
Molina.
Damn it.
What?
So,
Hang on to it anyway.
yeah, he'll probably want this. I'll
You'll
take
probably
it.
want that.
So with a sort of like with this dexterous surgeon's fingers, he sort of gingerly sort of touches the neck of the bottle and tries to tilt it off and replace it with the saline solution in one smooth motion.
Yes.
Okay. You reach out and grab the bottle. As you start to pull it free to replace it, you see that these brackets holding it are holding it fast, and the bottle doesn't budge at all. It just kind of, it budges a little bit. It's like, and it doesn't go anywhere. And as soon as you touch it and move it that little bit, the clockwork wheel at the bottom makes some sort of strange sound as if like it's been separated from something that has been like still for a very, very, very long time. And as if some like dust kind of comes off the bottom of it, it just goes, and then it begins to spin. It slowly starts spinning, and it seems to be unwinding some sort of screw that goes down into the base of the pedestal, because as it spins, it rises into the air. It's going as if this mechanism is unscrewing out of the center, and then you can see a screw down the middle, coming from the middle bottom of the bottle mechanism down into the pedestal, and it slowly begins rising. 3 inches, 4 inches, the bottle coming up off the thing. What is anybody doing in this moment, or are you just standing there kind of watching and waiting for this thing to stop?
Yeah, I mean,
I'll use my alertness just to see if anything else is happening in the room.
Yeah. I think
Okay,
Vicky,
this is a split-second thing, so give me a roll on that alertness.
yeah,
I
but
think Vicky does the same.
entranced.
Neil seems to have this handled, but Vicky has her gun out, and she also wants to be like, what is going to pop out at us?
It's an 81 under 86.
Wow.
81 under 86, phenomenal. You are immediately scanning the area looking for booby traps or any other activity that is going on around you. You notice nothing of the sort. You hear no rumbling. You see nothing strange along the bottles that are along the sides. Nothing unusual. And this thing keeps rising.
Wait, is the bottle rising, or is there like a screw
Yes,
inside
the bottle is actually slowly spinning
Okay.
as it's turning up and getting higher and higher off this pedestal. Anything else? Pardon me, Vicky, you said you were going to do the same thing. Did you want to roll?
Yeah, I got an 86 over 54.
All right, I'd say you're just kind of focused on the bottle at the moment. And Neil, you're just waiting for it to stop moving?
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see what happens.
Okay. It goes, it gets 12 inches, 1 foot up off of the thing, and you hear what sounds like a cracking noise as it goes. And these brackets that were on the bottom of the bottle connecting it to this wheel just snap, break off, and tink, 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 fall to the top of the pedestal, leaving the bottle, it seems, loose.
I reach out
Neil reaches out dramatically.
and I pull it off. I do the saline thing.
You reach out. You pull it off and replace with the saline. The moment you do, that the screw top that you had put on there reacts, shakes for a second, and begins to screw around the other way again. Lowering down and lowering down and lowering down and lowering down until it gets back into the base. But then it continues to lower down past the base. And it starts to sink into the pedestal, like a hole into the pedestal. And then after a few seconds, it triggers some larger mechanism, and you feel the floor beneath you shake for a moment. Very subtly, but like as if some larger mechanism beneath the floor has been triggered, and the entire pedestal begins to sink into the ground at the same moment as the wall behind the pedestal begins to slowly open like double doors, like a secret door that was behind the bottle.
Speak, friend, and enter.
And this light washes down into the room across all of you. This hazy light with like a misty sort of mist in front of it, so that you cannot see anything beyond the door, but you do see what looks like light that is shining out and into you. I mean, it is like the door, like the gateway to heaven is like what it looks like. And this pedestal then completely submerges into the floor. At the same moment it hits the floor, a panel crosses over top of it, sealing it away. And in that same moment, the doors come to a rest and stop opening.
Neil is in tears at the beauty of this sequence. He's like, he's literally got like tears like coming to his face. And he like takes the bottle and just starts almost trance-like moving into the space that the open doors.
There's a lot of camera photography work that I really like in Minority Report that uses a lot of like bright light to like wash out things intentionally.
Yeah. That's Spielberg's whole, that part of his career is a lot of like washed out sort of.
A lot of washed out stuff, yeah. And so I imagine that in this moment, but with both your headlamp on top of your head and the light, the diffused light that's coming in from this thing washing over your face. When you say Neil is like tearing up, I imagine your face completely washed out. Your features very hard to tell, but the reflection of a tear glistening in that light as your whole face is the whitest white of white. You look like an angel, and you start to step up toward this mist. And Neil walks up into it. Bobby, what do you do?
Yeah, Bobby's like all the noises and voices in his head start to like calm down as he looks at this light. So he's just entranced by it, and he just without thinking just walks towards it. He's just still holding his shoulders like.
Vicky, you see Bobby just start walking up these steps, and they start walking into this fog, into this mist. You can still see them silhouetted as they're walking through.
Vicky is like, we are supposed to get the bottle and leave. Like, we don't know where we're supposed to bring it. Abigail just said, get the bottle.
Well, so that's not true. Go to your roll 20.
Yeah,
oh, wait.
Let's
look at what it says.
It says,
find the hotel. All right, let me go to the thing. All right.
Where is it?
Okay. Find the hotel, the labyrinth, the author, his bottle. Got it. The city, the lake.
The city.
The city.
Fuck. I don't want to go to the city.
So what city? You don't really know yet, but it doesn't give you a clear place.
The city,
to go.
Carcosa, the lake, Holly.
Of course.
It's
You belong to the city. You belong to the night.
To the night.
Yes.
To the night floors.
I mean, this to me sounds like Carcosa, Lake Holly, and then it's Shadow, I don't know, and then the bottle again.
The battle.
And then the party.
The battle.
I don't want to go to the party.
Then the
Vicky
party,
is hesitating.
the dance.
Vicky
The girl
is
in blue,
nervous.
the one
and
singing. Nothing is true.
She wants her son, and she wants to protect her son and herself. So she has her gun, and she's waiting to see what Roger is going to do. Because Vicky's the last one. She's kind of taken up the rear.
How do we get to the city?
Roger wants to go to the city?
Yeah, that's what's next. If we followed her this far...
Yeah, the only way out
Why are we following Abigail? It's so fucking crazy. Why are we doing any of this?
We're all a little bit crazy.
We're so in deep at this point. Like, I've lost, like, the why behind what we're doing. Yeah, I don't want to walk through this. It's a difficult thing, right? Like, this seems very inviting. Maybe this is what we're supposed to do next, because we certainly don't know what we're supposed to do next. But it also, like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, I think Vicky's a little bit like, what are we doing?
Another personality takes over Bobby. Take the ride, man. Just jump in, man. Just do what you gotta do, man. It's gonna be great.
Bobby's already through,
Bobby
right?
turns back, smiling at you. It's like, come on, man.
Come on, man.
The water's warm.
I can see them still.
Just their silhouettes. Like, you can't see their features. They're
Express
vanishing into this
elevator
mist.
to
And Neil has the
hell.
bottle.
Yeah, I
Neil's
mean, we
got
have
the
to get
bottle.
the bottle regardless.
Gotta get the bottle. Take the trip.
What are you gonna do, Roger?
It's like Close Encounters. You got to step into the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can I do... Oh, no, I don't have anything in unnatural. I was gonna say, can I do an unnatural roll?
I, as a player, have lost the thread now, so I'm like trying to figure out what makes the most sense. Like, story-wise, it seems like they want to go into this, so I should just follow or grab the bottle from Neil and run.
Smash it.
Yeah, smash. I don't want to smash the bottle, but like, I don't know. I've lost the thread.
I think Vicky is standing here watching Roger's indecision to... I mean, she feels a kinship to Abigail for whatever reason. The dreams, the notes, the fucking letter in the mail, my queen, all that weird stuff. And I think she starts kind of like inching towards it. And she thinks, well, maybe if I find Abigail, I could talk to her. You know, maybe if I find Abigail, she could help us. Abigail has been trying to communicate with us. Maybe she can help us. Maybe she wants to help us. So she starts inching toward it, and she passes you, Roger.
Also, it's just like, it's the idea of getting to the bottom of this mystery that's been haunting us for like 3 decades.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, that's the primary thread. There's a lot of other details. I mean, Murray.
Yeah.
Murray's in here somewhere and could be through here, but also the primary thread for going to the hotel at all is the feeling that you got out and among the people when you, quote, returned from the real world after the night world, that it was completely surrounding you. That like anyone you interacted with, there were no natural interactions. Like whatever has latched onto you, it feels like you can't get rid of it without, as you heard back in the Dorchester house from Mr. Wilde and from Bale, the only way that you can get out of it, out of the orbit of the king, is to pass so close to him that you get the velocity to escape. But you have to slingshot past him and get out again. Otherwise, you'll stay permanently in that orbit, never reaching him, but also never escaping.
Yeah.
That's sort of the best way they could describe this extremely unnatural occurrence.
If you're going to walk through, Vicky, Roger, I think is facing the same sort of crisis that I'm facing, and just shakes his head, pumps his shotgun, and steps through.
Vicky steps up into the mist, walks through. Roger begins to walk through, and we see all of your feet, all of your silhouettes disappear into this mist, and the mist seems to envelop us, and the light seems to envelop us as it completely goes to white. And we'll take a break.
Jesus.
Take a moment, gather yourselves for part 2 of this episode.
Dear God.
Dear God. as we come back to our show, remember we had this at a whiteout, right? A whiteout. And that screen stays white for a few seconds, completely washed out. And then we start to hear the sound of a high-pitched whine, a familiar sound to most of us. It sounds like it starts to resolve itself in your mind. And you recognize it as the sound of jet engines when you are inside of an airplane. You can just hear the hum, and then all of a sudden the deeper sounds start to fill in the sound of sitting inside of an airplane. And then you hear bing, the bing of the intercom within the cabin being opened up. And all of a sudden the white starts to resolve into shapes. And we see shapes of seated heads all along the cabin of an airplane. And just after that, bing, you hear, "Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We are about to begin our descent into Baltimore. Please raise your trays up into their upright and locked position. Put up your seats." Blah, blah, blah. Saying this stuff as the sound of the captain's voice snaps Roger awake. We see him sitting in his aisle, just like we did at the start of season 4. And Roger, you awake, and you're sitting on this plane, and you feel as if everything that has happened in the last 3 seasons of this show is a dream.
Oh, who shot JR?
No.
Shut down. That you've been
Bobby's alive.
that you've been somehow dreaming this. Your window is dark. It is nighttime outside. And you can feel that lull of a long flight. The air, the sounds, everything seems very, very routine. What do you do?
We're landing. So
Since we're beginning our descent into Baltimore.
All right, so cabin service has ended.
You know that it is, yes.
Just one.
Cabin service is
Too late
ended.
to get a doors.
That's your first.
I reached to see if I have any bottles on me.
Roll to see if the stewardess will give you another.
You, of course, still have a few bottles of Dewar's on you. And you think it's possible that your entire interaction with the flight attendant over the bottles and drinking on the plane and all that stuff, that you could have imagined all of it, that it could have all been part of this weird waking nap dream. You know it's 2019. You know that that you're on your way home, and you feel as if you could have dreamed all these events that just took place even when you woke up in bed in 1995. It all seems distant and strange, as if it didn't really happen.
Am I on the aisle or the window?
You're in the window seat.
Who's sitting next to me?
You turn and look next to you, and you see the girl. A girl who, in your dream, seemed to remind you of your daughter, Camille. In this moment, you don't think you have a daughter, but it's a very, very, very odd feeling. And that's when you feel like ice run down your spine. As just past her, sitting on the aisle, right across from you in the aisle seat, you see a black guy, older, reading a book, and it is Barbas.
Yeah.
And you realize that that guy was on the flight when the flight started. And somehow he came into your dream as this character.
Like the Wizard of Oz.
Delta Green agent. Yeah. Just in front of him, sitting in a seat in the row in front, you see the unmistakable profile of Vicky. Just sitting on the flight.
Roger will unbuckle his seatbelt, stand up, slide past this
Excuse me, sir. And you see a young man starts walking down the aisle, a flight attendant, and you see it is Asa Darabandi.
What?
But no mustache, just, a young guy. You recognize this flight attendant. He was on the flight to start the flight. And you realize that he is in your dream as Asa Darabandi. He says, excuse me, sir, the captain has put on the seatbelt sign. Please remain seated for the remainder of the flight.
Roger ignores
It's for your
him.
safety, sir.
Roger,
it's for your safety,
Roger
sir.
ignores him and walks right over to Vicky.
Sir, I'm sorry. And Vicky, you are sitting on this plane. As soon you remember all of this stuff as if you just woke up from a dream.
Same
all
thing.
this stuff that has happened, same exact thing. You have a perfectly good reason that you're flying to Baltimore in 2019. You are literally on this flight, and you have been on this flight with Roger since the beginning. But you didn't see him before, and now he comes up next to you, and your last memory is walking through that gate from the labyrinth. But you also know that you have an entirely different life where you are on this plane right now.
Is she old and haggard?
Maybe for business. Maybe you had work.
Or young and hot.
She's old and hot.
She's old and hot. Yeah, she's old and hot. She turns looking old and hot.
She turns olderly at me.
Her boobs look boobily toward you. Old and hot.
Her boobs look boobily toward you.
Roger just looks at her, and while that guy's talking, is like, Do you know any instance of me?
Roger? I didn't know you were on this flight. I didn't.
We're not on a flight.
I'm going to Baltimore.
No, we're not.
Sir, I have to ask you to sit down.
And Vicky looks
this
up.
other flight attendant comes over, this woman, and she is now sort of trying to, double up with Asa Darabandi, and you recognize this woman. She is Nurse Samagina from the Dorchester house. But she's dressed in a flight attendant's uniform of the airline that you're flying, and she's just like, sir, the captain has put on the seatbelt sign. We are making our descent. You need to sit down now. Can you please continue your conversation after we land?
Vicky bolts up, seeing Nurse Samagina, but her seatbelt is on, so she's like, ugh! And then she unbuckles her seatbelt and stands up.
Neil,
Ma'am, I need you to sit down.
Neil.
All of a sudden, a guy
Neil.
a guy's. Both of you guys are on the flight.
Yeah.
Now, how you got on this flight, it is 2019 to you. You have a perfectly good reason for being on the flight. Neil, you have a full head of hair. It's like you have your long hair, you're rocking your look. Maybe you're coming back from a premiere or something like that.
Yeah.
You had perfectly good reason for being on this flight. And you also
and I'm
had
sitting
this
next
same
to my
dream.
best friend, Steve Buscemi.
And Steve Buscemi is on the flight.
Now I'm taken out of it. Now it's ridiculous.
Sir.
I would have noticed that Steve Buscemi was on the flight.
First class. I don't
You're
know.
in first class?
Yeah, okay. All right, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that tracks. I believe it again.
Yeah.
They're chirping, and I gotta increase this a little bit. They're chirping, and Bobby and Neil, you hear this strain, like you're living two lives at this moment. Bobby, how do you react when you hear Roger calling your name, and you hear this commotion now? I mean, everybody's kind of turning and looking.
He puts down his scotch on the rocks. He's sitting in business class, and he's
Looks all the way back to Coach.
he looks all the way back to Coach. God damn, those fucking peons won't keep making noise. No, he gets up and he goes to investigate. Goes to see what the commotion's about.
You get up out of your seat as well.
Yeah,
So you get up out of your seat. This commotion is happening behind you. All of a sudden, you see between you, and you recognize Roger and Vicky, you see a young man step up and step out into the aisle. He takes off of his seatbelt, looks to be in his early 20s, big, very fit, and he's wearing a Washington Nationals jersey. And
It's CJ.
It's our producer, CJ. He steps out into the aisle looking at you, Roger, and he has this youthful look on his face, and he's just like, is there a problem here? As if he's going to help the flight attendants enforce this. And you recognize Richard Bryce, the guy who had the gym bag in the Dorchester house.
Baby in it. The orderlies with the fucking
with the kid in it. Yeah.
Oh my god.
With the decayed corpse in it, and he's just walking up like, "Is there a problem here?" And the flight attendants are like, "Please, everyone, just calm down." And he'll tell you it's Asa Darabandi, it's Nurse Samagina. All these people are flooding in. You recognize them from your dream, and he starts coming up into your face, Roger.
Roger says, what he says, is there a problem here?
Is there a problem here?
Roger goes, yup, and punches him in the face.
Oh my god, amazing. All right, give me a roll. Give me an unarmed attack roll. We'll see how much of this blow actually hits home.
On the plate.
All right, so that's going to be a 45 under 65.
Okay, I rolled an 80 over 20 for my dodge. He just clumsily kind of like tries to put up at the last second, but you connect exactly with his jaw. And he's just like, bam, slams into this dude on the next aisle over and like starts to slump down. This guy starts to like dodge away a little bit, and you recognize Detective Goradonda, the NYPD officer who was outside of Abigail's apartment in the first place. And he just looks like a businessman flying back to Baltimore. And it's just like an overwhelming surge of this stuff. So everybody please, in the moment, give me a fortitude save, a sanity check.
Oh, God damn.
And
fail.
No.
89 over whatever.
72 over 19 now. Over 19.
I rolled a 56, which was my sanity before I lost sanity points. So that's over. 56 over 50. Damn it.
Oh.
okay. And Neil?
I failed as well.
All right, Bobby, 1 point of sanity loss.
Yeah, why not?
Roger, 1 point of sanity loss. Vicky, 4 points of sanity loss.
You're doing this on purpose.
Oh my
Come
God! I had
down
to get
to
you
our
back to average. And Neil, 2 points of sanity loss. As you know, you guys are flooding, and I think that the largest part of the sanity loss that you're feeling is your 2019 life. Like you fully feel it. It doesn't feel as if you've been transported onto a plane. It feels like you woke up from a dream, but you all recognize each other, and you're all in this same place on this same flight at this same time. Yes.
Does this feeling in this moment, I mean, Vicky has pretty high human, pretty high psychotherapy. Does this feeling feel the same as when we were in the hospital and Vicky was being told that she doesn't have a son? That she had been in the hospital, and she had these memories of like, I've always been in the hospital. I've always been at the Dorchester. Is this a similar feeling? Yeah,
it's a similar feeling. Like you don't really know which is true, whether you just dreamed everything that's happened in the last 3 seasons of this show during a long flight to Baltimore, or whether this is an effect of the Whisper Labyrinth. Like you're not sure. It could be both.
Do I have my gun?
Yeah.
You know what? I'll say, yeah, I'm not sure what the rules are for federal agents on flights if you're allowed to have the gun on you on the flight, but you are an active federal agent. You have your job. And so, yeah, I'd say you have your gun.
Vicky pulls her gun out.
And the flight attendants are like, ma'am, no, please. One of them starts to run. Asa Darabandi guy starts to run to the cabin. He starts to run to the cockpit.
She shoots Asa Darabandi in the back of the head as he runs.
Oh my God! Yeah. Roger is running towards the front of the plane. He wants to get into the cockpit and crash the plane.
She thinks in this moment.
God!
So Roger just jumps over Darabandi's body and just starts pulling at the door to the cockpit.
All right, first, son of a bitch. First, Vicky, you have to take a shot. Give me your firearms roll.
Yeah, in this moment, it's that same feeling of when they were like, Sam's not real, and it's like a electric shock to her brain, and she thinks, you can go anywhere in the night floors. You can go on a plane in the night floors. The only way out is through. And she just 4 points of sanity loss, takes her gun out, shoots Asa Darabandi.
All right, give me a firearms roll.
Yes.
Let's fucking go. That is an 18 under, what's my fire? 50.
18 under 50. Blah! The back of his head explodes as this not Asa Darabandi flight attendant hits the deck. You just killed a kid. You killed a man. You murdered a man on a flight to Baltimore.
He's not real. He's a puppet.
So all of a sudden we hear the gunshot. Bang! At the same moment you hear the gunshot.
Oh my God.
Obviously the cockpit gets locked. Roger jumps, runs over the body of this flight attendant. Now everybody is screaming. They're yelling. They're pulling at each other. Oh, Vicky, you're like, you see this kid go down. You see a guy stands up, looks at the kid, looks wide-eyed at you, and you see a guy in army fatigues, and it's Timothy Bale. You recognize Timothy Bale, and he is wearing his U.S. Marines, casual dress uniform as he's on his flight to Baltimore, and he just looks at you wide-eyed, and then looks down at the guy, and Roger gets to the cockpit.
I'm using the velocity of my run to the cockpit to do a flying sidekick into the door.
Salad! All right, give it to me. Go!
Yes. Oh my
41
God,
under a 65.
Is that your strength? No, that's your unarmed attack. What are you rolling?
Sorry, yeah, I guess I'd be using strength.
Just use strength.
18 times 5, 100 times 4, so 90. 41 under 90.
41 under 90. All right, we see Roger runs up to the cockpit, and the door smashes in. You see two pilots in their John Jamskis. Hold on, I'll act this out on camera. Two pilots in their Johns. They just suddenly turn, just they're in their white shirts with their little Johns on their shoulders, their epaulets on their shoulders. They turn around, putting their hands up. What do you do, Roger?
Roger just grabs their heads and smashes them together.
Oh my God.
You smash their heads together. And blood starts leaking out of their heads. They're both immediately, for the moment at least, knocked unconscious, and you start hearing these alerts in the cockpit. You see all these red alarm lights start going off, and the plane is currently on autopilot.
I just grab the wheel and I just start I turn it to go into the water, just
Oh my God! You grab the wheel, and all of a sudden these alerts all start going off. It's fighting you, the plane is actively fighting you, but then all of a sudden it gives over to some sort of manual control, and you hear a really horrifying whine as it pitches down, and everybody screams. In that moment, if you are unbuckled, please raise your hand.
Oh yeah, that's me.
All four of you guys unbuckled. All four of you are lifted up into the air, along with Richard Bryce, along with the Nurse Samagina flight attendant, and you all smash into the ceiling, taking 4 hit points of damage. Not you, Roger. You're in the seat. Not you're controlling the plane.
I'm holding on to the controls. My legs are
You're holding on to the controls, but that sudden change in gravity, everybody would boom, and everybody on the plane starts to scream. And Roger, you pitch the plane down further than it was already, and you can see in the night the lights of the city of Baltimore splayed out in front of you down in the distance. You see the massive bay right next to it, and all of a sudden you see in that moment flash, 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 flash of lightning as rain starts pouring down onto the windshield, and the windshield wipers start going whack, 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 and the lightning is just flashing and flashing, and you could see the city lights below, and you're trying to just fly this plane down into the city.
Bay, yeah.
Right into the Chesapeake.
I don't think it's safe to crash in this weather.
You turn the head of the plane down, and it's screeching and whining as it's fighting against you, but Roger just pushing it down, and you start to see what you saw in your dream. You start to see the lightning and the flashing, and you start to see within the bay something opening, some sort of maw ready to take you in. You see the entire city begins to collapse, burst, explosions as electricity is firing off, as transformers are exploding all over the city, as it's being pulled into the Chesapeake itself by some great beast. It's like, "Grah!" And now the plane starts pitching and it doesn't start fighting you anymore. The plane is being sucked in as if everything around the bay is being drawn in. Gravity is creating a whirlpool that is sucking everything around it in. And the alarms are screeching. People are unconscious. Some of you are just holding your heads, you're bleeding, and the plane just starts to, you feel that sickening feeling as it's diving. It then loses total control. You're no longer pointing it head down, but it is pitching sideways and being pulled from the top down into what seems like the bay. And it gets closer and closer and closer and closer, and smash! Complete blackness. All of you feel this horrible jarring. And everything goes silent. All of a sudden you hear the lapping of water on a shore side. And Roger, you open your eyes and you're laying on the ground. You're laying on some sand. And you feel as if you're laying right next to a shore of some kind, shoreline. As if you crashed the plane, smashed out the side, managed to survive, and you're laying next to the bay. That's kind of like what it feels like in the first moment. You get your bearings and look, and you see there is no indication of a wreckage, of a plane. But you slowly sit up, and to your right, you see the burnt out buildings of a destroyed city. To your left, you see a black lake. The entire area to your left is just this like completely calm lake where the water from your angle looks completely black. It is nighttime. The lake ends in a mist in the distance, so you can't see the far shore. And above that mist, you see 2 moons in the sky. You see Vicky, you see Neil, and you see Bobby, all unconscious on the sand around you, and no one else. You come to the full understanding that you are in Carcosa, that you, in a way, have come home. You know that you've always been destined to come to this place. Perhaps when you were seeking home, this is what you were looking for. Before they wake up, you understand something about this place innately. You know that Carcosa is ruled by the King in Yellow. You know that it is an alien place that absorbs ruined and corrupted places into itself. You know that the McAllister building was just taken and absorbed by this place. You understand now that the Dorchester house was taken and consumed by this place. That the hotel, Broadalbin, it was once a regular hotel, but it was taken and connected to this place. And all of these places are slowly, at once and forever, being consumed. They may never be fully consumed, but they're always actively being consumed. The city to your side looks like Baltimore. Could be a burnt-out, post-apocalyptic Baltimore. But you know that city. You know its name. It's Yathil. And you know somehow that your vision of what you're seeing here is a separate city. The city that did not get consumed into the Chesapeake. Maybe you stand up, and upon standing at the edge of the shore, you can see clearly that there are city lights deep, deep within the lake. It makes no sense. But there is another city, Baltimore? No. Yathil? Perhaps. That is beneath the lake as well. That is where the king holds court. That is a place that you have been before. You know it like it feels home-like, like it familiar, as if it was your childhood home or something, and you're returning to it. The city lights beneath the lake. There's a calmness and a stillness to this moment, and a comfort of home. You immediately recover 1d20 sanity. Let's see what this number is.
Oh, that can't be good, though. I mean, this is good, but this is bad.
Yeah, it's a bad sign.
That's
It's bad when you see Carcosa and you're like, I feel so much better.
Wow, yeah.
Got middle range?
10.
10.
Oh, 10.
10.
I'll take 10.
Recover.
10's better than 9.
wow. That is huge.
Recover 10 sanity points. Amazing. Vicky, your eyes open. You were knocked on the head in this flight, but as your eyes open, you feel no pain. Your hand comes away. There's no blood. Your hit points are full. And you have a similar feeling to Roger. Perhaps you don't know all the details. Perhaps you know that this is Carcosa, but perhaps it doesn't feel quite like home. Neil, you awaken, have a similar experience to Roger. You feel as if this is your life's purpose. And never have you felt more like you are on the right path of your life, artistically, professionally, everything. So recover 1d20 sanity.
Shit.
I just rolled a 20. Second time.
5.
Damn it! I was hoping for a big one for you.
Yeah.
It's all right, though. There is a big range for this one. And then, Bobby, you open your eyes. The city beside you looks familiar. As if from your dream where you saw your father, where you saw a young Roger in World War II fatigues. But the war here is over. The city is dead. There's no one in it. Every building is burnt, a burnt husk. But it does look vaguely familiar, and the name Yathil comes into your mind again. You know your father said this to you. He said that you are in Yathil, that you're trying to punch through to the palace. All these things, the memories of this dream come back to you, and they feel so real. Roger, you're standing at the shore of the lake. You have to decide what to do next. I'm going to stop there.
Wait,
I'm going to call it
do I
for
get
this
sanity
week.
back? I want to roll a d20. Give me a d20 as sort of the sanity, damn it.
Vicky did not get any sanity back.
We're not crazy enough.
There are certain behind-the-scenes
Yeah,
things going on
not
here as to
crazy
when and
enough.
why you recover sanity. Bobby, we'll see what happens to yours next week.
Oh my God.
But in this moment, knowing you have fully arrived in Carcosa, you have to figure out how to escape yet again. Or how to stay forever. It's your choice. Think about it for a week and we'll come back next week.
Jesus Christ.
That was... Bravo, Joe. That was insane. That made me feel crazy.
It's funny too because like
I feel crazy.
Neil's last sort of thought that made any sense, memory that made any sense was Steve Buscemi. Look, I says, "What's that commotion back there, man?"
I didn't put Steve enough in the action scene. I think he stayed buckled through the whole
I was
thing.
going to say
gotta
he
watch
would
it all
definitely
go down.
buckle. He'd be buckle.
He's just
Steve's
like, I want to watch
okay,
this
right?
go down.
Steve's fine.
Steve's okay.
Steve's all right.
He's definitely a buckler.